Hello, today I'm going to show you how to replace a stark white blown out sky with another sky, another cloudy sky, just to make an image a little bit more interesting. I'm going to use blending modes to show you how quick and easy it is to drop the sky in. So first of all, I'm going to start with an image. I'm going to double click on it, that's in Bridge, and open it up into Adobe Camera Raw. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is drag the shadows right up to 100%, highlights down to minus 100%, holding the Alt key, click on the white and just bring that up a little bit. Back again, I don't want too much showing through. By holding the Alt key down you can just see where it's blown out, so you can see a few little white dots in the middle, but I'm quite happy with that, so that's okay. And the blacks, again, hold the Alt key down and then move that down to the minus and take it down so you start to see some blacks appear within that white mask there. Again, I'm quite happy to have some deep blacks in these shadowy areas, so I'm quite happy with that. Clarity I've already been, that was set from another image, so I'm just going to look at that and just boosting that up a little bit. So I'm going to bring that up to about 30, and the vibrance I'm going to bring that around to about the 20s, and saturation +2 is fine. Again, looking at here, maybe I've got a little bit too much in the shadows, so I'm going to just drop that down a little bit. And the contrast, I'm just going to move up to about +15. Okay, that's the start of the image, so I'm going to open that. Okay, once I've got it into Photoshop, I'm just going to do a few bits just to make this image a little bit more interesting before I do something with this sky. So I'm going to Command J, go up to my filter, drop down to other and high pass. And on the high pass, I'm going to try and bring back some of the details. So this is going to sharpen up these details and really sort of make them pop. So I want to see the brickwork here and the bridge bits and pieces, but I'm not too bothered about flat areas here. If I won't go too far, as you see, it just shows up too much. So I'm going to drop that down. Depending on the size of image you've put in pixel size, is how much radius you're going to need to do. So on this one here, I'm quite happy with about 2.2. So I'm going to OK that. And in the layers, I'm going to change from normal blending mode down to hard light, and I'm just going to toggle on and off and just see. Yeah, that's brought out the details quite good there. Maybe a little bit too much on this bit here, so I'm going to put a layer mask, shortcut B for brush. I've got black selected, the foreground, and I've got the opacity here. I'm just going to drop that down to about 30%. I've got 29 showing there, that's fine. And I'm just going to paint in black just over these bits here, just to remove a little bit of the sharpness from this area here. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to Command D just to flatten that down. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'll bring my adjustments over. I'm going to put a layer adjustment, a black and white adjustment on this one here. And from that, I'm going to go from normal, and I'm going to go to soft light. Okay, toggling on and off again. It really just boosts the contrast out on that, and I'm liking that. So that's good. I'm quite happy with that at the minute. So Command D, because I'm happy. I don't need to sort of keep that in the stack. I'm going to flatten that area. Now these buildings here are a little bit light still. So what I'm going to do, Command J, normal blending mode. I'm going to go to multiply. That's nice. That's really darkened these buildings down quite well here. This is too much. So what I'm going to do again is holding down the Alt key, hit the layer mask, and that's hid that multiply blend mode mask. And all I'm going to do here now with a white brush, again, brush B for brush for the shortcut. X will change this from foreground was black to white, and I'm just going to paint this bit in on these buildings here, which were a little bit, I thought they're a little bit underexposed. oh sorry, overexposed. So I'm just going to darken them down a little bit. Okay. Because I'm painting at 29%, I'm just going to gradually build that up. And that seems to be more fitting with these areas here. And I might just darken this bridge area down just at the top here a little bit. Just nice and subtle using a low opacity. Okay, I'm happy with that now, so I'm going to Command E. Right, the next thing is this white sky here. I'm going to replace that white sky. So what I've got, I've already opened a tab here with a cloud image, and this is the one I'm going to move into it. So I'm going to click on V, that's the shortcut for the move tool, and I'm going to drag up to the other tab, and holding on that, drag back down, hold the shift key and just drop that in, and that's going to land perfectly in the middle. Command T just to transform it, and I'm just going to scale this, and I want to lose those buildings at the bottom. So something round about that is just what I want. Now what I'm going to do is change the blending mode. I'm going to change the blending mode from normal to multiply. And there we go, that's dropped the sky in. It's gone into all the bright whites and any sort of mid-tones. So what I don't want it affecting this area here under the bridge. It's absolutely fine, all these fine wires and stuff, it's absolutely doing a brilliant job there. I say it's gone too dark under here and it's affecting these buildings here a bit. As this is glass, I'm quite happy. I've got a little bit of cloud, it's almost like reflections in these glasses, a little bit too much, so I'm going to drop that down a little bit. So what I'm going to do again, click on the layer mask, I've got a layer mask there, I'm going to B for brush, and I'm going to swap the foreground from white to black because we're painting onto a white layer mask, and I'm going to just bring that opacity up to, well, it's 77. I'm going to try that to start with, it's a fairly small brush, and I'm just going to bring back the building, and I'm just going to keep that fairly smallish just to come round down these bits here. And I'm just painting on that, just filling in that brickwork there, and then underneath the bridge I'm going to do the same and just carefully paint this in. Obviously if you're doing it yourself you need to reduce that brush size and spend a little bit more time just painting in these areas here. I've gone too far there, so I'm just going to click on X, change the foreground to white, and just paint those clouds back in that bit there. X again, back onto black. I'm going to reduce my opacity right down now. I'm going to take that down to about 20% because I quite like the clouds in here, but they're a little too obvious, so I'm just going to paint again just nice and light. Let's just change that to black again as a foreground. Just paint them out just a little bit. And again, you see that cloud there? It's a little bit too obvious, so I'm just going to paint those bits out there. Okay, so that's dropped that cloud in nicely. I'm really happy with that. It's done a great job here. It's darkened this bridge down a little bit that was a little bit too light anyway. I could go into it, I'll just quickly show you that. If I start to paint into here, I'm only on 20%, but it will lighten it up a bit, but I was quite happy with it, what it had done, and sort of darkened it down a bit. So I'm going to just paint that dark back into there again. And that's pretty much that bit sorted. So I'm going to just check around, make sure that I've got all the areas I wanted taken back to the original image where the cloud's gone in. As I say, it's done a great job here. You can still see all the wires and the clouds just dropped in nicely behind, and again here as well. And I say we've painted out some of the cloud, left a little bit of it in, and yeah, that's looking good. So just Command minus key, that just brings it back to small if it's a screen there, and I'm going to Command E just to flatten that layer. Okay, final few touches on this is I'm going to hit J shortcut for the healing brush, and I've got it on the spot healing, and I'm just going to literally paint into that little blotch there. That's got rid of that. And the final thing I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring over one of my favourite little plugins, and that's my Colour Efex Pro 4. So I'm going to click on Colour Efex Pro 4. That's just going to load that up. And in here I'm just going to go down to tonal contrast. I'm just going to Sunlight Show You Difference into tonal contrast, and I'm going to OK that. That's going to take that back into Photoshop, and it automatically puts its own layer on there with the tonal contrast. So if I just on and off, you can see, bang, what a difference it's done to that sky. It's really made it pop now. That looks absolutely great. My preference is, I think it looks absolutely great. You may think it's a little bit overdone. So what I'm going to do with that one is I'm just going to reduce that pop in that sky a little bit. Again, layer mask, B for brush. We've got a black foreground. I've got it set about 20%, and all I'm going to do is just paint out just a little bit of that pop in the sky. And I can reduce that down, and again just a little bit more there, and we're just going to bring that down just a little bit. Command E, that's flattened it, and that's it. That's the finished image. That's bringing a different sky, nice cloudy sky, and just popping it into a blown out white sky, which happens a lot when you're exposing for the darker areas in an image. I hope this video has been of some use to you. If it has, please feel free to leave me any comments, email me, or drop a line on the end of the blog. It'd be good to hear any feedback, and I'll catch you next time.